Oh man, I never thought I would hear that wonderful little tune again. Uh, yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the return of me, Joe, aka Brown Machismo. This is a reboot of my talk show. Season 1 is done. This is the Netflix version, the takeover version. Welcome to the pilot episode of Who Do You Know, Joe? A little podcast where I go around interviewing some of my buddies from my everyday life, from my online life, from life in general. So this is exciting. We have a very, very requested guest tonight, and they're already a little lit, so this should be an interesting show. We're going to have Perry on in a little bit, but I wanted to do a little intro and let everyone know what's going on. I'm back. I've been off of my social media for about a month. I'm slowly accumulating life back onto the internet. I'm back on Twitter, but I refuse to get back on Facebook and Instagram. I'm back on the Discord. I feel good. You know, I got a lot done. I did a lot of cool stuff, not online, which was kind of fun. I went out a lot more. I actually just got back from being out with some friends tonight. So this is the reboot edition of the Brown Machismo show. I kind of am separating myself away from the Brown Machismo gimmick. It's still a fine name, you know. Brown Machismo works for things, but I wanted to get more of a distinct personality in who Joe is, and not just what a name is. So Brown Machismo was a cool name for a long time, but I think I want to slowly get more into, being more me, more Joe. My glasses are the same. I still have the same terrible prescription, but that little logo is who I am. A pair of glasses and a big blue open mind, and I'm excited to get back into interviewing and get back into streaming and, you know, getting back into talking about cool stuff. So that's where I am right now. It's a Friday night here on the East Coast. I did say the show would start at 8 o'clock, but I accidentally pressed E instead of C. So technically I'm on schedule for being at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And yeah, it feels good to be back. It feels good to be back on the mic talking. We'll get into some more shenanigans, doing some more streaming stuff once I get my capture card working again. I tried to stream the other day, but it wasn't going great. But that's enough rambling for me. Who cares about me? Everyone already knows they love me. We have a very special guest tonight. And so this is gonna be. We were talking a little bit off the clock, just talking in general. And this is a person who I don't really know all that well, despite them and our lives running very parallel. We just never have talked. We even in our D&D game, I didn't really know them all that well. I know Perry as Theo Lowrider, I think. I don't think that's correct, but that's what I'm gonna go with. Theo Lowrider, a cool wizard with a posh British accent who charmed a bunch of people and then just was like, I can't do the career life anymore. And they're back into being a nerdy librarian or whatever they were. So without further ado, Perry, if you're there, please unmute yourself and welcome to the Brown Machismo show. Sorry, force of habit. I meant to say, who do you know, Joe?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Perry. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
You know, kicking the old rust off, getting back into shape, getting back into game shape. I'm a little rusty.
Mm-hmm.
I spent an entire opening segment saying the Brown Machismo show was now called Who Do You Know, Joe? And I instinctively called it.
It's an adjustment.
Yeah, it's a big change. I feel bad for all the Xbox people who were playing like online together. They're like Brown. I'm like, oh, I meant Joe.
I like the logo though.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool,
it's not too bad. It's a little plain, but I like it. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Pun always does it. He's like, dude, one of these days I'll get it. And I'm like, Nick, it's fine. I still call you Pun because what's your thing? I could call you the if you wanted. That's the first part of your name. Hey, the.
Hey, the Pun. How you doing?
You got so Tori, aka Rory Kid, aka Dongrass, says this is the first time they've ever heard Perry's voice.
Hello. Okay, so I was wondering who Ruri Kid was.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
There's a famed story about how their Twitch, they have everything under that one account except for Twitch. Someone else got it. Someone else named an obscure land in Tales of Vesperia or whatever the hell it is. I don't remember.
Ah, that sucks. I hate that feeling. I stole Fanthropologist. I'm gonna like freely admit that. I was like scurrying on Twitter one day and I saw someone had Fanthropologist as their bio, and I was just like, "Is that taken on Twitch yet?"
That's a cool name.
I fully fucking stole it.
One of the things, one of the main questions, as you brought it up, is like the origin of like where your name came from. So you have a couple. You have I remember when I first saw you on the Discord, you were like Wonderlust, and you had this. I think it was a painting of Brigida, but it wasn't quite Brigida. It was like.
Yeah, I think it was like some fan art of Brigida because we both have brown hair and brown eyes, so I was just like, yeah, that's close enough. Because I wasn't too comfortable with using my like actual picture just yet, which is what the profile picture I have now up is. So I was just like, oh, that's close enough, and it's a really pretty picture of fan art, so I'll use it. But yeah,
I remember watching this is old school. This is when it was the Blues and the Greens, and the Blues playing their games. And I was like, man, everyone's really good. Or us Greens are trash compared to the Blues. so you were Wonderlust 21?
Yes, so I was born on the 21st of February, so I've always loved the number 21, and Wanderlust was taken, of course. So, because I've always wanted to travel, hence my job. And then, Wanderlust 21 was my first ever PSN name that I made in like 2012, 2013 or something like that. So that was my first, I consider that my main account. And so I first started playing Overwatch, and about 2 years ago, I haven't been playing Overwatch for very long at all. And so went into comp straight at level 25. Probably wasn't the best plan. All by myself. No, I'm just kidding. I think I had a few people playing with me. And I placed in silver, I think. And so I had been playing for a few seasons, and I really got into the game. And I was just like, you know what? I want to see what I would be like if just playing Orisa in comp, what I would place as. So that's when I made the account that everyone knows me by is Paragon Life, which is based off of dually. It's both based off of Mass Effect because I always play full Paragon.
Yeah, me too.
Playing anything Renegade just makes me feel like trash. Sorry to anyone that does play Renegade. It makes me feel so grimy. I can't do it. I think I've punched the journalist once. I don't know. Even then, I'm just like, well, at the end, there's this cool scene where you make up with her and she's fine. It's okay. You don't have to punch her. But that's just who I am as a person. And then in Dragon Age, so they're both BioWare games, but Dragon Age has the Paragons for the dwarves. So I was just like, all right, that's me, Paragon Life. That's gonna be. And so that's when I did comp basically one tricking as Orisa and made it to platinum.
Damn.
So that's when I was just like, the MMR system is bullshit. But yeah, so those are the two main accounts. And then I made the third one, which I rarely use now. I made Fanthropologist just to see what I would be like as DPS when Ashe was released, because Ashe was really fun to play when she was first released. I fell in love with her. And so I made that account and got into gold one tricking her essentially. I love that PlayStation makes it where you can make free accounts to play, because that's basically what I do now whenever I'm curious about a character in my comp score.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I am barely functional enough to have one account. I can't imagine making starting from scratch, starting it over. And I was a Zen when I first. I'm like you. I first started. I haven't been playing this game all that long, and I started as a Zen, and then I started over into Diva, and then I became a Symmetra main, mostly because nobody wanted to.
Oh my god, Symmetra's amazing.
Everyone, she's my favorite, and everyone was like, "Yeah, you're not going to Symmetra." And then with the new rebuild, you have to aim, and it's the secret is I could always aim.
Oh my god, I just love the strategy that is required. That's what I love about Overwatch is the strategy that you can build into it, and so Symmetra is the culmination of that for me. I love Symmetra.
Oh yeah, she's my absolute favorite. And I can do a little Orisa, but I I'll just flex to whatever we need. That's the one thing about cool. It's to join the Discord. It was like I was like on my way out of playing Overwatch, and then I saw the thing where I was like, "Hey, do you want to play with people who aren't mean?" It's like, "Oh yeah."
I think I saw the same Reddit post, and I was like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, adults play this game. So
I know. I think I was like "Girl Gamers," the subreddit. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Find cool chicks to play with. Mm-hmm. I just heard a bunch of things about how Overwatch could be like in just regular team chat now. I just never go to team chat.
Oh yeah, I never. I guess the one cool thing about like I'm Mexican, right? But I still sound it. I have a very white voice, so no one ever bothers me. And it's like, well, my name's Brown Machismo, so it's like Brown's in there. It's like I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I am.
Like,
I am a brown
just insult me for my gameplay. You don't have to resort to like racism.
Like that's a toxic culture of it, and it's like if everyone was just cool and nice, the world would be a lot better.
Heartwarming. I just want heartwarming in my game.
I want to be wholesome. Damn it.
Yes, everyone be okay, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. So you go by Wanderlust, but you go by Perry. I know you as Perry. I know you.
Everyone on this Discord knows me as Perry. I think
and I know you as Theo Lowrider.
Yeah. Theo Ryder.
Sure. Theo Lowrider.
Just okay. No, that's not your name. Okay.
I'm the DM. Damn it.
Lowrider.
Yeah.
Like I should just be like Shadows. I'm a rogue, not a wizard.
So it's you now. Your real name? Do you ever go by your real? Do people know your real name?
I think most people do. I mean, I shared my thesis when I got published.
I saw your full name. I'm like, she realized that she told everyone her full name.
No, like I'm one of those people where it's just like I don't mind people knowing my full name because like in real life I'm a very boring person, and if you really want to stalk me that bad, like one, you're not going to get the chance. Two, good luck. I don't know. So I like it's one of those things where it's just like it's one of those things I trust you guys not to be dumb about it. I guess is the thing. But at the same time, like my job or like what I want to turn my job into is being a public person about things. But I'm a super honest person. I don't really have anything to hide necessarily. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, this is me. So yeah, I don't really mind sharing my name because there's like, I mean, I'm a boring person, so there's nothing to hide about it.
This was more of my long about way of asking you how to pronounce it. Because I know what it is. I'm like, I don't want to say that. I'm pretty sure this is it, but I want to sound like an idiot on the internet. It'll last forever.
It is not how their singer pronounces it.
Yeah. It's how do you, oh, you do it. It's your name.
Nope. Yep. Here we go. Don got it.
It's a Fleetwood Mac song, you pleb.
Yep.
Okay.
If I was more drunk, I would sing it, but I'm not that drunk.
Okay. Well,
but
she doesn't need to be rude about it.
It's a really good song, though.
Jolene by Fleetwood Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's my name.
Ruby by the Kaiser Chiefs.
Okay. Yes, that's my middle name. Actually, but my middle name is also from a song. Both my first and last name are from songs.
Oh, wow.
So my middle name is from a Beatles song, and my first name is Rihanna from the song Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. So your middle name is Hard Day's Night.
Yes.
Got it.
It's the best middle name ever.
Your full name is Hey Jude.
Yes.
All right. So I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm not going to do it out of spite now. Sorry.
It's just Anna with a re in front of it.
Yeah. So you're Anna once. You just do it again.
What?
You're Anna. Then you did it again.
Yep. Anna second.
Yep.
Anna twice. That's my name.
This conversation. So this is the old Brown Machismo show. Shit's off the rails already.
I've been drinking.
She's about 5 mimosas deep.
Yep.
Yeah, she's shit faced. It's gonna be great.
Me shit faced. If I was shit faced, I would have been belting that song.
So I guess we could really get first into the questions. You brought up Overwatch, and a lot of the questions you got is referring to what I guess you're known for as. I mean, you have your own command above it. Is Orisa, right?
Yeah.
So the first question we got based on that is Orisa balanced?
Is she balanced?
I mean, she's always standing up on all fours, so I imagine she's got good balance, right? That one's for you, Nick.
Oh, that was good. I mean, I would expect so. I mean, because my one thing is that her whole lore is built around countering Doomfist, and that motherfucker is so fucking annoying. Like, there's not much that I can do to kill him. Even my halt doesn't do much to kill him. Mm-hmm. Or it's just like, if her entire lore is built around being his counter, why is he still such a nuisance? So, I think she's fairly balanced, but I also haven't played her very recently.
Yeah, you mentioned something that you felt very shameful about, saying how you even played Orisa all that much. So I'm calling you out now. You're a lie.
Yeah, I must admit my deep shameful secret. I don't play Orisa much anymore. I've kind of transitioned. Well, one, it was because when I moved back home after I graduated, my internet was so bad I couldn't play any character that required aim. So it was either like Winston. But I also became really, really good at playing Mercy when I didn't have to use Sad, because I love using my gun as Mercy. So I kind of just became a healer main while I was at home, and that's kind of to me here. I pulled out Orisa last night, and I'm so rusty on her now. But yeah, like, it's one of the things where it's just like the home stretch that I had kind of made me stop playing her. And then, like, all the recent buffs to DPS with, like, no counter buffs for the healers, just... It's not fun being a main tank right now.
It's really not.
So, just I haven't played her very much. I miss her. She's still Bae, but not Bae enough to play her as a one-trick anymore.
Is she Bae enough for you to give an Orisa voice impression?
Oh. Who is ready to party? I don't know.
There was an attempt, folks.
There was an attempt. I can do Ash whenever you guys want, but I can't.
Oh yeah, because of your beautiful southern drawl.
Yes.
Do you want to give us an Ash impression? I'll do Torbjorn if you do Ash.
Someone give me a voice line to do. I have to, like, read it or hear her say it to get the drawl right.
Oh, because of, like, where the inflection is?
Yeah. And plus, I'm really bad at thinking of stuff off the top of my head that they say.
I'll let the crowd look it up. Somebody in the chat, give me a voice line, and I'll relay it to our guest. But while you do that, the next question related to Orisa is...
Burn it all down.
Can you do that again? I accidentally chuckled over it because it was so good.
Burn it all down.
That is pretty dang good.
We have an understanding.
There it is.
You're getting on my nerves.
Ooh, I like that.
Do what I say, or this will go something smooth. Go nice and smooth.
Torbjorn does not appreciate being bullied around. So you attempted to give us an Orisa. You attempted to give us a Orisa line, but you gave us a really good Ash. So I'm thinking that's pretty dang good.
I mean, Ash is essentially me, but very much exaggerated
and less murdery.
Yeah, I'm very much an Orisa at heart.
You know who does a really good Orisa is Jenna. Yanasi.
Jenna?
She does a really good. Oh, give us a Bob do something.
Bob, do something.
Yeah. Not bad.
But no, that was when I first started playing Overwatch. I guess because it's one of those things like I have a tendency to hide it, I guess, or it doesn't come out as much as my actual accent is. And so I have it where it's like if I'm getting like slightly tilted or just like really into the game, my accent will slip out. One of the first few, I think it was like within the first few months that I was playing, we were on Hanamura A, and there was a Doomfist that just wouldn't get away from us. And I was like, Doomfist, you better get over here.
You sound like a school mom yelling at her kids.
And my friends were like, Doomfist? Who's that?
How does Doomfist have so many extra syllables in it?
I know. And then I haven't lived it down to this day. They're still like, get that Doomfist.
I have no place to talk about accents because I have my disgusting Philadelphia accent. I mean, I say water instead of water. So I don't have a lot of room to make fun of your accent. I like Southern accents. I always find them very fun.
Oh no, yeah, it's like I've just kind of accepted it at this point. Like accents are accents. Everyone has one, even when they say that they don't. So it's fun that mine can be entertaining.
It's got a charm to it. It's like a vocal hug.
Aw, that's sweet. I like that. I like that description.
So you have two questions related. I want to say they're talking about Orisa. I don't know if they mean literally riding on your shoulders.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, well, this is actually, who would you let ride into battle? And what was the other one? Would you really let someone ride your Orisa into battle? And why is it Fiona? And then in parentheses is that it's Khan asking, by the way. Is that like a blue? Is that like a blue? I know we don't have those terms anymore. We're on that faction stuff, but I still relate everyone to blues and greens. So is that like a blue inside joke?
It's just tearing us apart. No, yeah, that's kind of like an inside joke with Fee and I that because she plays like a ton of shit. She's
she's so good at like everything.
And so I am an Orisa one trick for a while, and so we would just have the joke that like she would ride me into battle. Whatever character that she played. So that's essentially the joke where it was just like whenever we played together, it's just like, all right, where are we riding off into battle today?
That druid one would be a badass thing to ride into battle.
Okay, so the two questions were what? So
the two questions is who would you really let someone ride you into battle, and why was it Fee?
So one, if it's like as Orisa, sure, people could ride me into battle. If it's me as a person, I wouldn't be anywhere near battle in the first place. Like, I based Theo off of me, and I'm very much pacifist. So, in real life, no one would... Wait. That almost came out interestingly. But, so in the game, 100%, I think Orisa should be ridden. Someone should ride her like a horse. Ideally,
Torbjorn should ride Orisa into battle.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Put a Torbjorn on her head, and then put his turret on her butt, and they can ride around and just wreck shit. Or on another thing, just put turrets all around her body. Just hide them like behind her ears or something. Nobody can see them. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, "What's up? I'm Orisa. I'm a peacemaker. Oh, never mind. Turrets all up your assholes." I think that would be interesting.
So the accent came out for assholes. You actually missed it in our D&D game. We actually they did not have enough costumes to sneak past security guards, so they took the shortest member and put it on the non-human NPC or the player character, and they passed the check. And I made one of the characters do animal handling. As a joke, but they got really high on it, so they're like, "Okay, so is it okay with you if I ride you into battle?" And they did, and they were awesome. It was great.
Oh, I'm sad I wasn't there to see it.
Yeah, we'll get you to go on with some side missions on our D&D game. If anybody's interested in doing post by post, I will try and do that. I wrote a real detailed post, but no one responded to it.
No, people join me, please. I need to write. I need to play Theo more.
Theo is fun. And so the questions that we have are a couple. Most of them are about your Overwatch skills and talking about how much you love Orisa. But there are a couple that ask about other games. And you mentioned that you played the BioWare games.
Oh yeah.
You played Mass Effect. So what are your top 5 games of all time?
Oh God. Well, definitely number 1 is the Mass Effect series. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I want to go back to replay 1. I was like, I can't play 1, but I might replay 2. And if they ever do like a fully remastered like Xbox One edition, I'm also an achievement hunter, and I loved playing those games for all the achievements again. So that'd be. Mm-hmm. I feel like achievements have ruined me playing old games again because it's like I already did everything again. I don't want to do it again. But I agree. Mass Effect series is phenomenal. When you mentioned how you were always you were always like the good guy. I did one Renegade by accident, and I started the game over. It was the one where Archangel is sniping everybody, and you can kill one of the bad guys like off to the side. And I was like, oh, that's going to be pretty cool to do. I can kill him and like one less guy. And when that little red flashed up, it was like, you did a bad thing. It's like, but I killed a bad guy. I did it in a really badass way. I restarted the mission, so it wouldn't count for my full Paragon run.
I have done, like, with the outset of, like, I did it in the mindset of making a character that was Renegade. That's pretty much been the only way that I've been able to do it. So I have done a Renegade run, but it was the mindset of, like, I created a character to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I know that too.
Yeah, and so I think I've only done one bad the entire time.
I usually make a woman to do the Renegade, so I don't know what that says about my opinion on evil women.
I mean, I feel kind of bad in the opposite sense, in that I can never play a dude. I think I remember I've tried to make a male shepherd. I've done it for Dragon Age Inquisition. I've made dude characters for that, but I've never been able to do a Mass Effect. One, because I'm straight, and, like, there aren't many good, like, gay characters for, like, a male shepherd, where it's just like, if I'm going to play a male shepherd, I don't know, would I want to romance a dude, or would that work? For a straight woman playing a dude, would I want to romance a dude, or would I be in character and want to romance? I don't know. That's why I didn't do it, because there was too many questions to ponder.
This better not awaken something inside of me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would want that to be awakened. I don't want to be, like, sexually repressed or anything. But it's like, I've asked
how I
questions.
came out to Mass Effect 3.
I mean, maybe people have. That'd be great.
Hey, whatever, however you do it is good on you. So
yes.
So our first weird tangent of the night.
We're gonna have many.
So we have 4 more top choices left, unless you want to do 1, 2, and 3 as your first 3 games.
Like, I don't really consider myself a gamer. I literally have probably played 5 games in total. You know. Mm-hmm. So, like, I just have games that, like, when I like something, I like it very intensely. So this was like the Mass Effect games I played over. Dragon Age games I've played over and over. Overwatch, you can play it however many times you want to. I play The Sims, which I wouldn't really consider a favorite game. It's just something that, like, I use not really to pass time. It can be fun in its own right, but it is stimulating intellectually like the rest of the RPGs are. I don't think what else. The best game that I like nostalgia-wise is Star Fox. The one where you're with the dinosaurs.
Wow,
I can never
really?
remember the title
one
for
on the
it.
GameCube? Dinosaur Planet?
Yeah. Yes, the one that was on the GameCube.
Wow.
Everyone hates it, but I fucking love that game.
Damn, that's like a deep cut. That's the one where it was like everyone was really furry and they had like a weird sexy fox lady.
Yeah, the weird sexy fox.
She was weirdly already in like caveman gear.
Yeah, when she was frozen in the glass, I definitely tried to see if she could up her skirt.
Didn't you just say you're straight?
Yeah, I'm still like a 12-year-old. I'm just like,
that's true.
You see something? Star Fox Adventures. Yes, that's what it was. I loved it. It was so fun.
I think Dinosaur Planet was like what it was supposed to be, and then Nintendo was like, "Hey, I need you to cram dinosaurs into your Star Fox game, Star Fox Adventures." Okay, thank you, Stereo. I knew exactly what you were talking about because like I used to work at GameStop, and the game came out and like no one bought it, and I was like, "It's Star Fox though."
Crystal,
and then I saw it. And I'm like, it's really bad. I can see why everyone likes it.
Crystal trapped in a crystal.
Oh, it's so meta. It's literal.
Yes, but yeah. So in terms of top 5, like it's one of those things. Like I could break it down, like how I rate the Mass Effect series, which is really hard actually for me. But yeah, I don't really have a top 5 because I don't actually play that many games.
That's interesting that you were like, I'm not really a gamer, but like you're really all about Overwatch. Like that's a weird game to be into. Like I could understand the RPGs because it's like an interactive like book, but Overwatch is like you need to be involved with it. So how did you get into Overwatch then?
When I get into something, I get like completely into it. There's a Ron Swanson quote that I like to use where it's just like, why half-ass 2 things when you can whole-ass one thing?
That is a good one.
That's kind of me, where it's just like I found archaeology and I whole-assed it to a master's degree and that's my job now. Overwatch, I just love kind of because that's one of the things where it's like with Call of Duty and all these other PvP games, I guess that's what you call them. Yeah, like I
Player
didn't
versus
like.
player?
Yeah, I hate competitiveness, so I loved how Overwatch made it. Like I know it's kind of ironic now, and you're just like, why are you playing Overwatch then? But I liked the team building aspect of it.
Huh.
And then also the strategy, but also there is like a story building element to Overwatch. So I do kind of like watching or being disappointed with how they develop the story.
Like
Which it has.
like you're disappointed in the Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, that's a story in itself. That's so sad. They fucking lost to Valiant. Like, let's just shed a tear for that.
My Fusion lost to the Mayhem, so I have no room to bash on you.
Oh, that's true. Well, now I'm in Florida. I'm just like, should I root for Mayhem? No, I'm not going to do that. but yeah. So so Overwatch, I like the strategy aspect of it. Like, I like trying to different strategies to implement, but I've still got a ways to go in terms of like mechanics to do that. I like keeping in touch with the lore, and then like they have their events pretty spaced out enough to keep me interested in it. And then the people, of course, like I wouldn't be interviewing with you right now if the people weren't fucking cool enough to keep playing with for years on end. So yeah, Overwatch is definitely one of them. Mass Effect is RPGs are easy to get obsessed with.
Now, how does your interest in archaeology? I want to get into how you got into archaeology and anthropology, but is that related at all to how you approach like why you like a game? Because you mentioned the lore, and it's like I'm sure you like as soon as you find a new piece of lore, like I feel like that feels like you discovered like something in the past. So is there a way that those two are related, or they kind of just like they just had like happenstance? Like how has archaeology and anthropology influence it gets your interest in any kind of game?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I think it's all connected because I just love stories and human stories at that. I kind of love reality that's been constructed, like hearing about human lives from the past, and I love seeing what humans today can create with their own imagination. So I think that's like 100% all encompassed and just kind of my love and fascination with humanity in itself, where it's just like why are we here? How are we creating such beautiful things? And while we're here to like do as much as I can to revel in it, I guess, is kind of my life stance right now. Because we're a cool species and we've got cool stories to tell both in reality and in fiction.
That's one of the main reasons why I was never really a big fiction reader. I like finding out how things became. So I usually read I love reading biographies because I can read a biography and learn a topic and be like, oh, I want to look into this topic now. And like I learn about that topic. I'm like, oh, that's how this person did this. But who's this person? I going in. I do like the Wikipedia thing where like you find like a link and you just like somehow like, how the hell did I end up at the origin of paper towels from Herbert Hoover? and so like Game of Thrones has that where like they have so much lore and history. Like I like any new character that comes up. Like I've never read the books. I've always watched the TV shows, but there's so much lore that I've read so much about the books, but actually without actually ever reading them. And we were talking earlier in the Discord about Star Wars and Harry Potter, and I was like, I'm not a big fiction person. And like I never realized how like Wikipedia, like the origin of Wikias has really opened my interest in like trying to get back more into that kind of stuff, because it was like it's like you mentioned this obscure wizard on page 8, but who is that? And then it's like and then I go to Wikipedia and it's like, oh my god, somebody wrote an entire thing about it. Holy shit!
Yep.
And so I appreciate the idea of trying to find the origin or find the history of everything. So that's really cool. But so how did you discover, I don't mean to use this like in a weird like phrase, but how did you discover anthropology and archaeology?
It's actually a funny story. I had never heard about anthropology even because I first went to a community college when I first graduated high school. I had never heard of anthropology, and I think I was scrolling Facebook one day and came across basically a career aptitude test, like random link, and I fucking love personality tests. I mean, you guys have seen the that I put out, so I took it, and it said that I should be an anthropologist, and I had never ever heard about that before, and so I looked it up on Wikipedia. And I was just like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this sounds exactly like what I want to do. Like, I want to study humankind. Like, I want to be paid to do National Geographic kind of shit. Like, that sounds awesome. And so I looked up, like, the community college that I was at only had, like, a for anthropology. So I took that, realized that that's as far as it could go at this community college. So I transferred. And when I first started UGA, that's where I did my bachelor's.
You're a bulldog?
Yeah, I'm a bulldog.
Oh, nice.
I'm not attached to the sport in any way. I did work for the bookstore for a while.
Yeah, bookstores.
Yeah, I was in the receiving end. I like received all the textbooks. That was, oh god, like beginning of semesters were the worst.
Oh,
but
that's what I do for a living, so I understand.
Really?
Yeah.
I give you sympathy. I mean, it can be fun. I'm still like, my boss from that job is like still friends on Facebook, and I still like, whenever I'm in Athens, I go to visit her because I loved her so much. But
can I ask what year you were an undergrad at then?
I graduated in 2014.
Okay, so like that was when the textbooks were still a thing. Now the textbooks are like dying. So
we would get like shipment like 1,000 textbooks at the beginning of a semester, if more than that. But yeah, I just worked on like the receiving end, and I'm not a baby. Don't do this to me. What was the question? Oh yeah, how I got involved in anthropology.
Yeah.
So I started as a major for anthropology at UGA, and at first I was into cultural anthropology, which is studying like current cultures today. But then I realized like I'm an introvert and I hate talking to people. And like all about cultural anthropology is that you get out like into the world and interview people to understand like, yeah, so ethnographies and stuff. And I did a bunch of those when I was in college, and that pretty much signified like, I don't really want to do this for a living. Like, I don't want to after every interview. And then I found myself that all of the classes that I was taking each semester, they were slowly leaning towards like, you know, like ancient cultures of South America, like ancient cultures of Southeastern Asia, Celtic archaeology. And I was just like, finally, it took like 3 semesters, but a light bulb went off in my head where it's just like, it's ancient cultures that you're interested in. So that's like my very last semester of UGA, I finally signed up for a field school, which is like, if you ever want to get a job in archaeology, whether for the job that I have now or going into grad school, you have to take a field school, which is like getting experience into what a dig, like an excavation is. And so my very last semester, you finally get experience. And that one was like, if figuring out that archaeology was what I was interested in, actually doing the archaeology was just like a mind-blowing situation where I can be outside and dig at the dirt and learn about people at the same time. So that's when I knew that I wanted to do it.
That's interesting that it took you until what, like 18, 19?
No, by that stage I was like 22.
Really?
Yeah, I graduated 2014. I was 23, sorry. 2014. Wait, can I do math? No.
That's why you're an anthropologist. You don't need math.
I have a calculator to do my math.
I counted 5 rocks.
But so yeah, so oh, wait, no, did I graduate in 2014? I just said I graduated in 2014 because I did it the summer of 2014 and then graduated in August. So I was still 23. I can do my math. I'm sorry, guys. I've been drinking and I can't do math even. So yeah, I was 23 when I graduated, and so I spent. I tried to find like phase 1 like CRM jobs, which is just like you're basically just paid to use a shovel. You're just a bum. I've learned recently that people don't like being called that. They want to be field technicians for those that do it professionally. But when you first get out, you're basically
wouldn't be called the sons of the soil, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Ugh.
Sorry, that's an obscure Simpsons reference for anyone out there who was listening. It's really fascinating that it took you until community college and like figuring out like, oh, well, this sounds really cool, and then the more you did it, you're like, actually, I wanted to do this. So
yeah, before that, I was like an art major, like I wanted to do art for a living.
Really?
but I didn't like the competitiveness of the art field, so I was just like, please no.
I was when I was in community college, I was an education major. I wanted to be an art teacher, and then I was like, there are no jobs out there, and I'm not that good at teaching people, so I just switched off of it. So I kept my studio art minor, but I had no idea you were into art.
Yeah, I love drawing. I haven't done it in a while. I definitely would like to at some point get back into it because I feel like I kind of love having a creative outlet that I just haven't kind of structured. I've been trying to adjust to this new life, but yeah, I love art, and drawing used to be like a huge passion. I mean, I can share some of the stuff that I've done maybe later in the Discord.
Yeah, if you ever feel comfortable enough sharing stuff that you've done, I'm sure we'd all love to see it.
I mean, it's all pop culture stuff, so you probably would actually.
Cool.
There's a picture I drew of it was when Inglourious Bastards came out, and it's of the director nibbling on the person's ear. I can't remember his name. The goody guy.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
But yeah, I'll post it. It's funny.
It's interesting that I bring it back to like you finding out when you're older. So what did you want to do when you were a kid?
Oh man. I think we had this as like a question of the day for like when we were a child, what did I want to be? And I wanted to be a country singer or a spy. I really had it in my head that like being a spy was cool, but now I realize like, oh, ew, I don't want to lie to people for a geographical border for a living. Like, please no.
You're not a spy now. You just creep on old dead people's stuff.
Yeah, I want to spy on dead humans. Tell me all your secrets. I mean, that's actually, now that you talk about it, that is kind of what I do.
You're literally digging up dirt on the past.
I'm a history spy. Gotta trademark that now.
Oh, you're welcome. You stole Fanthropologist. You'll steal.
Oh hell yeah!
You'll steal past crime.
Chaotic detective. Good now, I guess. Or wait, no, that's probably still neutral. I guess I don't know.
When you do these digs now. Now you're setting out for, you said, like a month-long dig. There's a couple questions in here that I'm interested in this a lot too, but the questions are phrased better than I would figure out how to do it. One of the questions here is, what is the coolest thing you found in a dig so far?
Probably from when I was helping out a friend doing his thesis. He was on a 17th century rice plantation that was in South Carolina.
Whoa.
We were essentially helping fix bad archaeology. I'm not going to share this with my archaeology friends because that's not really well known. Because it was like a previous grad student had essentially like found a chimney, found remains of a chimney, and like excavated all around that, but that was it. And he was like, oh, there was just one house, that's it, that's all that was here. And in archaeology, like, we have standards of how we complete things. And so the first thing you do when you find a site is you want to know, like, where does this site end? Like, where all did these people, like, live around this border? So we have these things called shovel tests, where you literally set up a grid. And so, like, every 5 or 10 feet, you dig a shovel test to see if you find anything. And so that was essentially my friend's thesis, was trying to find the boundaries of that house. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like on the highest part of like a little part of an elevation, and every single shovel test we dug on that high elevation came up positive for cultural stuff. Every single one. What was supposed to be like, oh, this will only take, turned into months.
I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit. How long was it supposed to take?
It was supposed to only take like a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
And turned into months. Like, it's not like we were out there like 8 hours a day for months. I mean, like, it was just like, instead of like just a few weeks of doing like field school, we would have to come out on weekend essentially, or whenever we had days off from normal school stuff, we would take off to go finish the shovel tests and stuff. Like, he was the student that had to do the thesis for this was pretty mad because he was expecting this easy thing that he thought a student had already like looked at, but it turns out that student didn't look at it at all.
Really?
And so, but anyway, long story short, one of the shovel tests that I helped dig was because one of the theories that was running around was that this was the house of a slave who was kind of autonomous in like that he was working the rice plantation, but we thought that he was just like a lone figure, like he was him doing this, or like he lived in this house and everyone else lived elsewhere. Mm-hmm. But then we found evidence of a ring, like it was a tiny ring too. And so it was either a toe ring of a woman, or it was like a kid's ring. So that's one of the things that I wasn't able to see what they concluded before I left. Was like, was it like of a child or was it of like a woman? So that's a pretty cool story where it's just like there was either a family here area, and it's a pretty cool story. That's one of the things that I kind of like about archaeology is that it like tells stories of people that would not have been told otherwise. You know, like slaves and Native Americans weren't really written about. They were just kind of like left out of like paperwork and census data and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of the stuff that I like to learn more about, where it's just like the people that don't have any stories to tell. So that's probably one of my favorite ones. I mean, there's been a ton of fun, interesting stuff that I've found, but I think in terms of like helping to explain history in a story, I think that one was probably my favorite.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Spell it archaeology. There's so much. Oh my god.
Digging up dirt. I get it. You're digging up dirt.
Oh my god, Don, did you see the tweets today about the SAAs? Jesus Christ. There's, oh god.
I don't know what any of those acronyms stand for.
Okay. So the Society for American Archaeology this weekend in Albuquerque. And apparently, you know, apparently there was a professor at the University of Alaska who like had a known history of abuse and was supposed to be like kicked out of the conference. Mm-hmm. No, he got like not welcomed in, but like he was able to walk around unscathed, and like his victims were walking around as well. And when they heard about it, I mean, you can just imagine the shitstorm that ensued. And yeah, so it's been a good old day in archaeology Twitter. So yeah, archaeology is not without its tea, that's for sure. It's kind of gross because it's one of those things where like anthropology and shit like this happens where it's just like, are you though? Like we've still got a lot to learn.
Yeah. Damn. Got a little heavy.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's
yeah.
It's part of the culture you live in.
It's life, yeah. That's what I was like. It's a culture that we want to change, but it's we unfortunately still have to deal with.
Is there any place that you would like to dig at?
Oh my god, Pompeii, because that's like the site that kind of instigated my love for history.
Really?
I remember sitting in like a sixth grade geology class, learning about the volcano that erupted, you know, and just like completely covered Pompeii and left it preserved, and I was just like, what the fuck do you mean that it was preserved and like you can still excavate it and like find out all this stuff? It's one of the things like, because Pompeii is perfectly preserved to the point that they still haven't excavated all of it. So like, yes, I would definitely want to go to Pompeii and kind of be that. I would still really love to go do Celtic archaeology because I consider my main interest is in what's called prehistoric cultures, which is basically like cultures that didn't have a writing system and as such weren't able to like write things down of like why they did things, or, you know, different good clues like that we could use. I kind of like that mystery of prehistoric cultures, and so early Celtic societies were one of those, and I think they were really cool, and so I would love to be a part of like a Celtic excavation site. I think that would be cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. So many, I mean, like pretty much anywhere is good. Like I focus in the Southeast because the Southeast has such cool shit. Like many people don't really realize how history is in America, but like as Georgia, especially because I'm pretty biased because that's where I'm from, but Georgia has like some of the like is comparable with the earliest Native American settlement, has the first Spanish settlement, you know, different things like that. So it's just like all of the first kind of happened in or around the Southeast region. So we've still got plenty of stories to tell here too, but obviously the more exotic, the more interesting.
Tori wants to go to a dead baby cemetery in Greece.
I haven't heard about that one. Is it?
I just assume she's being a creep. It's like that's because she wrote it in all caps.
I want to go there.
I want to go to there where all the dead babies are. Hachi Machi.
Well, she's a forensic archaeologist, right?
Yeah.
That's
one of my student employees at where I work is a anthropology major, and she is all about trying to figure out like she's like the same thing. She's like, I just want to learn about everything. That's awesome. Is there any languages that you've like worked with? Have you discovered anything like how much of language is involved in anthropology?
It's involved quite a bit. So I'm going to go into teacher mode for a second, if that's okay. Mm-hmm. So anthropology has 4 branches. So there's linguistics is actually a part of anthropology. So there's linguistic anthropology, which is like the study of languages. So anthropology, like we want to know fucking everything about what it means to be human. So you've got the biological part with like through evolution and through our physiology, what makes us human. Mm-hmm. And then there's linguistics, like how the fuck did we learn to speak? Because language is really unique, and how the hell do we learn how to do it? So there's that part. So that's linguistics. But then there's also like the current culture stuff of like, how do we have so many languages? How have we learned to understand each other? There's like body language is also a form of language that you can learn. Sign language is its own form of language that's unique to us. You know, different things like that. There's like I think I've talked about it in the Discord. There's code. It's like
there's
cultural code switching.
So okay.
Yeah, so like how I'm talking to you now is a different accent than like what I would use when I talk to my mama, because my mama's my mama and I have a different accent when I talk to her, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, stuff like that. But there's still like really different interesting stuff. There's the biological or physical anthropology that I'm sure Don Grest would do a much better job explaining than I am, because that's my weakest part of anthropology. And then there's archaeology, that's like the study of the past, and then cultural anthropology, which is the study of the present. So there's like those 4 branches of anthropology, and so linguistics is like a huge part of it that I don't think is I'm not like a linguistic anthropologist, so I'm not a part of that world, but I feel like it's not getting credit as it should be because it's very interesting. For archaeology, I could technically study different languages. So for the Southeast, what I study, I could technically try and learn Native American languages. So Georgia's known for Cherokee and the Creek, so I could try to learn some of their contemporary languages, but I'm not sure how much that would help me in terms of like how it was spoken in like thousands of years ago, because it wasn't written down until like the 80s. I did try to learn French and German. I've forgotten all of it. Yeah. Like I gotten pretty fluent in German because I studied it at UGA for 4 years, and like I had wanted to minor in it at one point. Mm-hmm. But that just didn't happen because I found another focus. So yeah, I love languages and like want to learn fluently another language, but I'm also very lazy.
Do you know any fictional ones? Do you speak Klingon or anything?
No, I would love to learn Valyrian, and I know that that's the thing that you can learn on Duolingo. Like
I saw that.
To learn like a Game of Thrones language before the show ends. Mm. But Elven language would be cool too, because their script looks really pretty. But yes, so far
I barely speak English
yeah,
at this point.
Yeah, so far I'm just a normal American that can't speak jack shit other than English.
One of my favorite quotes regarding language is from Die Hard, where he's like, "Listen, pal, I speak 2 languages, English and bad English."
I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, we could say we speak different languages if we can understand different like dialects and accents. Mm. Because my sister-in-law said that she couldn't understand my dad when they first met. Because the accent, even though they were both speaking English, the accents were so different. Because she's from she's from like Iowa or Illinois, one of those I states is where she's from. And yeah, she couldn't understand my dad because if you think I have an accent at any time, like my dad he's like definition redneck Georgia accent.
One of the interests that I've always had was actually kind of relates to the languages of it, where it's the origin of the Mid-Atlantic accent, because I'm from Philadelphia, mm-hmm. and Philadelphia has a very distinct accent where they share it with Baltimore, and mm-hmm. it's the Mid-Atlantic accent. And it's very, very distinguished. Everyone kind of knows what it is, and so I've always had like a really kind of interest in like the roots of languages, And I have a lot of like my major in college was communication studies and theory. So I actually had just gotten a conversation with Nova Axel about this. He was talking about like different like techniques of talking to people, because I'm very naturally an introvert. I just really enjoy talking to people. And he was like, how do you kind of do it? And I gave him this whole breakdown of like all the interlocking interculture languages and body language and social cues, social norms, and using all and like people from this area do this, but if you do to here to someone who's from somewhere else, it doesn't mean the same thing. So it's interesting. I've always I didn't know there was a term for it. I guess I didn't really know what anthropology really was.
That's what have been my gripes for like the last 4 years, is that anthropologists haven't done a good enough job of spreading what anthropology is, because it's literally so interdisciplinary that I think everyone should minor in it. Like any job, because I mean, we're the study of humanity, so essentially any major in a college could use that sort of like breadth of learning of like how to understand other human beings. So yeah, I definitely think, especially for communications, like being able to also kind of dip your toes into like linguistic anthropology would do really well, because like they go into like why accents change, how some of it's a cultural adaptation, and how like, you know, like there was a really cool theory, and now I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was basically that the English accent of like 200 or 300 years ago is closer to our accent than it is to the current English accent.
Really?
Because we were isolated or had less other cultures to interact with, that our accent changed slower over time than the English accent that had many different cultures and languages interacting, and therefore it changed at a much faster rate than the American accent.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I can't remember the theory, so it could be total bullshit.
Hey, we're making it up. One day the aliens will come down and dig up our culture and be like, oh, this person, Perry, said this about the English language. It must be true. So maybe you just set us a course of history for the next 10 million years. One alien is listening to the Who Do You Know Joe podcast show and has just rewritten the history of humanity because of this conversation.
Oh my god, I was just watching an episode of The Orville where that similar thing happened, where this person just like interacted with a person on a planet, and then like for some reason like 11 days their time passed 700 years on the planet. And so they went back to the planet, like a whole religion had built around this one cadet because she had interacted with that one person. She's like, what the fuck?
Is that show any good?
I really like it, but I love anything about space. And most of who's the director? The Family Guy guy.
MacFarlane.
Yeah, I usually like.
That's why I don't want to watch him, because I don't really particularly find him all that funny.
You like him? Okay, well, if you don't like him, then actually, I mean, the humor isn't really the same as Family Guy or Ted or any of the other stuff he's done. It's pretty tame. Okay. I mean, it has kind of silly humor, I guess. Like it's not as it's not really as impactful, I guess I would say, as some other space shows. Like it's just like a light space show. But they mention anthropologists and archaeologists like every other episode, so I'm fucking happy.
Oh, because you're biased.
Yeah, I'm very biased, where I'm just like, oh my god, you understand.
You actually have a question related to, you talked about anything with space, and you have two questions that people wrote to you asking you about this. One of them is, if you could travel to any location in space and time, where would you go?
Oh, that's hard. I'm assuming they mean like Earth, space, and time. Because honestly, I think I would be too terrified to do like space is space. I mean, it would be interesting to try and figure out the edge of space, but I feel like that's infinite, so I would never stop traveling. But for Earth and time, I would want to travel to the future. Actually, like I know I'm an archaeologist, but
there's something ironic about you wanting to go to the future and you're being
like I want to study people. But yeah, I think there's something fascinating about the unknown and terrifying. But yeah, so like I would probably want to visit the future. I'm not sure what place though. I don't know if I would want to visit America. In the current climate, the future doesn't look too
It's not great.
Oh God, I don't know. Maybe the ice caps to see if they fully melted yet.
Oh.
No.
Rest in peace, ice caps.
Yeah.
The next question kind of relates to that too. Is if you could live out the rest of your days on another planet, why would you and why? So you mentioned about how you want to go somewhere like in the future, or you said the unknown. Would you ever want to live on like a terraformed planet, or would you want to live?
Oh, hell yeah! I mean, I've been one of those. Like, I've really been thinking about it, and it's like random fucking people on Earth. Do you want to like give up your life to just be the first people to settle Mars? And I'd be like, fuck yeah, I do.
Wow,
like,
really?
Yeah. I mean, I would probably want to travel to the moon first, because that'd be cool.
It's on the way. Might as well stop.
Just, preserve it. Like, hey,
Perry was here.
Yeah, pretty much. Make my mark. But yeah, I would probably do that because I mean, like, this existence is weird, so why not be the first spacefaring peoples, or generation, I guess, for the human people. But in terms of a planet, I mean, there's not many that we know of besides our solar system. Like, I would probably want to do, one of the Goldilocks planets that they found, like, in completely other universes. I think that'd be cool just to kind of test, can we live here? That'd be neat. Yeah, I'd do it 100%. I think it'd be cool. It's an adventure. Why not?
You're brave. I wouldn't want to do that.
I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where, I mean, everyone questions, like, is there life out there? Which is, like, it's interesting to question. But also, like, I really want to I want to see if we can ever expand out of Earth, like we have all these TV shows. I mean, I watch all the space shows, so I mean, I've been inundated with this, I guess. You
talk about terraforming. It reminded me like you'd be like on Battlestar Galactica, or like Interstellar or something.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like there's a chance for us to reach that. It's one of those things. Like, there's a quote that I love where it's just like we were born too young or too old to discover the world, but too young to explore the universe. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm just like, damn it.
Son of a bitch, I'm 4,000 years too young.
Like, I want to explore something. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm getting what I can out of it.
Well, that's actually really cool that you're just like, I know what I want to do. I want to
I'm curious, everything. Okay?
Yeah. No, I respect that. That's kind of like why I want to do. You talked about you do it on like a much grander scale. I like doing these little shows where I get to know people.
Yeah, getting to know like individual people is fucking cool, and I like commend you for it because it takes a lot out of me. But I think it's fucking cool.
You have not you. I was gonna bust on you later on the show because we're about an hour in. And you were like, I'm so worried that I'm not gonna have anything to say. And you've been talking for a good 59 straight minutes. That's a hell of a ride.
That's what alcohol does.
I'm so worried that no one's gonna talk to me. And you're like, I want to go to space and conquer shit.
I mean, I do. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, so let's I give one more anthropology related question, then it's going to get into my weirdo questions, which I'm really excited for.
Okay.
If you could discover one long lost artifact, what would you want to discover and why? And that is brought to you by Ben Pie.
Ben Pie, you sly motherfucker.
It's true.
What do I want? Atlantis? Oh my god. I want to find Bigfoot. No. Okay, a long lost artifact. I don't know enough about human history to know anything that's been long or lost. I'm trying to think of like stuff in the southeast that I would want to figure out.
The Holy Grail.
That brings up too many questions. Well, maybe, okay. Because that brings up like the religion question though, doesn't it? Real? So, I mean, that would be interesting to figure out because that would answer,
What was that thing? What was that city that disappeared down in like North Carolina?
Okay. The Library of Alexandria. I would like to find.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
There are so many late return books on that for that place.
Yes. The librarian in me wants that real bad. So, yeah, I guess I would say, Roanoke is a good one, too.
That's the word I'm looking for. was thinking of Jamestown, but I don't know.
Actually, so like, oh my god, I just actually do. I'm sorry.
Archaeologists be on the other side of that as a man.
Yeah, see, just like Don said, like archaeologists technically solved that riddle a few years ago, but I mean, like public perception likes to perpetuate the myth where it's just like
your nerdy newsletters. How the hell was I supposed to know that?
We don't either. Okay, so dumb and behind a paywall. Who could be shit?
Oh no, I ran out of my 5 free issues of New York Inquirer or whatever the hell it's called. I'll never learn it now, I guess. Damn it.
Yep. Nope. We'll never learn all the secrets because archaeologists are dumb and like to keep everything a secret. That's why it stays hidden. But yeah, so I guess like the Scrolls of Alexandria would be really cool because there's like apparently like a ton of stuff we still don't understand or know. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that Don hasn't provided the answer. He's really good at giving those. I'm trying to think of like any mysteries that we have about. I mean, I mostly just want because one of the things I'm really interested in right now is contact period in the Southeast. You know, so when the Spanish and the English were like shoving their shit all up in Georgia when like Native Americans still lived here. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's like a good span of like 300 or 400 years where they lived in like relative peace-ish. Like they were sort of like dealing with each other and like trading and stuff. Mm-hmm. But we don't have anything written by Native Americans that we just have like the English or the Spanish perspective. So I guess for me, I would like, you know, some like direct evidence of the Native American perspective of like contact period type stuff.
That's fascinating. Really is. You seem like you're leading a really interesting, just like finding cool shit out, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of really awesome things.
I have so many mysteries I want to uncover. No, I mean, I don't know. I guess talking about it makes me seem cooler because I literally just sit at my desk looking at databases for 8 hours a day. It's not like it sounds fucking awesome talking to people, but it's a lot of people have actually been disappointed by archaeology. They're like confronted with what people do. So, because like people usually see archaeology, the like 7-second clips of like someone moving a shovel around, and it's like, no, they're moving that shovel around for a day. Like you've got to be in good shape to do that. And then, and even then, like the digging is like 7 days, or like for every 7 days you're in the field, in the lab. So that's what was like the month-long project we're about on. That's why I was joking with Fiona earlier today, where I'm just like, we want to fucking get out of that field site by June or July, just so we can like be working in the lab the next so to deal with that data, so we don't have to be like in the Georgia heat digging, because that would be
horrible.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad, because Georgia can get humid and you just can't breathe.
Let me ask you one last question related to your field, and I think this is something you probably thought of a lot. What is the grossest misinformation about what you do? Like, what's something you see in a movie and you're like, that's not what we fucking do? Like, what's the most egregious example of what people think you do? Like, have you did you watch Tomb Raider and be like, that's not what we do, and you like walked out of the theater or something?
Well, Tomb Raider, we don't wear fucking booty shorts in the field.
Well, that Georgia heat, you probably should.
I mean, yeah, but also that's very unsafe.
Oh. I guess that's true.
Like, I remember I tried to play one of the Lara. I did play a little bit of the newest Lara Croft game, and I kind of liked it. But I mean, that's not archaeology, but it's entertaining. Mm-hmm. But then the one of the Xbox 360 Lara Croft games I tried to play, and I turned it off when she went into the Arctic shorts, where I was just like, this is too unrealistic for me. But in terms of, I mean, because like one of my, I love pop culture and archaeology, and that's kind of like in my dreams, I would love to like become like use like Twitch or YouTube to do kind of like archaeology and pop culture sort of thing.
Oh, that'd be quick if you'd be like, hey guys, this is Perry, and today we're going to be digging for the skeletons of the Georgian Indian tribes. Here we go. Like, comment, subscribe. Smash that like button for every time I find a bone.
Yep. That's me. But doing that, I actually figured out okay, so I would love for people to not equate archaeology with dinosaurs. That's very basic, but that's what I need out of my entire life is for people to not talk about Jurassic Park or dinosaurs when I say what I do for a living. It's like
I can see that.
Yeah, it's like one of the tiniest things, but like when you live and breathe it, it can get like I feel bad for paleontologists, or it's one of those things where it's like I don't know, like do paleontologists get confused with archaeologists, or are they fine? Like do they know that people deal with dinosaurs and we're the ones that get shit on?
I always think archaeologists like vases and stuff. I don't really think of bones.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe I'm woke or something about archaeology and paleontology.
She's taught you the ways.
It's like, oh yeah, like you're digging up like vases and shit from like from like Mesopotamia and stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. So we deal with human shit. Yeah. Well, sometimes literal shit. I'm working on a museum exhibit where I'm gonna get fossilized poop on display.
Interesting. Like we can see in this time period, this man had this for lunch today. We can find that by this evidence of poop.
I mean, yeah, that's actually becoming a science.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking cool.
My job is literally the shit. Stop that cat.
Yep. I mean, there was one of the sessions at a conference before was just on fossilized poop or coprolites, and I was just like, I'm very interested. I've got another thing that I need to go to.
Copper light, pretty copper heavy. They had a big lunch today.
So there's some really funny shit because it's like when you try to like understand all life, I mean, you got to get dirty, like literally dirty all the time. So
you're just constantly filthy.
Yep, pretty much like always dirty.
So that was the majority of all the questions we had that were like kind of like a serious on topic ones. But I have a couple of ones that aren't super related to what you want to do, but it's a lot of interesting questions. And the first one we have here is, what's your favorite color?
Green, forest emerald green-ish. Even though, like, I think we've talked about, like, I wear blue all the time. For some reason, I just always buy blue things because, I mean, I guess subconsciously I think it's, like, a good color for me to wear. But my favorite color, like a good, like, deep, rich forest green is probably my favorite. It's just very calming. It's very beautiful.
What Disney princess do you identify with most?
It's the person that Fiona puts as her profile picture. Actually, like I 100% identify.
Yes, Snow White. Her name is, or else I don't remember what her name is. Elsa.
Yeah, like it was interesting because I think me and my mom just decided to go to the theaters one day, and it ended up we saw Frozen on its opening day. And never had heard anything about it, didn't know what to expect, and like I was just bawling and laughing and having a great time throughout that entirety of that movie. Like I fucking love Frozen, and Elsa just like identified with me, like just basically 100%. Where it's just like if I wasn't drunk right now, or you could probably talk to Fiona or ask her. Like I'm a very reserved person for the most part. Like it takes. Unless you ask the right questions, it takes a shit ton for me to open up. So, I mean, I like the hunt, like conceal, don't feel thing really resonated with me. Because that's basically how I live.
I'm sorry that I had to get you drunk to talk to you. Hopefully one day we'll talk when you're sober.
I mean,
what does it say about me as a person? That like I have to get shit
you did tonight. I didn't mean to sound like I was blaming you. No, it's. I mean,
I understand.
I needed to drink. I needed to finish the stuff anyway. It was going bad. Yeah.
If you open a bottle of alcohol, it can go bad. You got to drink it all in one sitting.
Oh God, no! Please don't. Luckily, mine was only half a bottle. If I had done the whole bottle, Jesus Christ.
What was one of your favorite shows growing up as a kid?
Scooby Doo is definitely one of them.
Zoink Scoob.
I'm trying to think of something. Totally Spies. Okay, so it went from like I was definitely a Barney kid. There are many children, like toddler children.
I love you.
Barney.
You love
then it was,
that guy.
Yeah. And then it was like Speed Racer and
Speed Racer, huh?
Oh yeah, I fucking love Speed Racer. Speed Racer and Scooby Doo was the next stage, and then I fucking love Totally Spies, which I found out one of the 3 voice actors was Commander Shepard.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get shit in the comments for not remembering her name.
Jennifer Hale.
Yeah, that's who it is. She's great.
I was like, I remember looking at her IMDb, and she's been around me my whole life, and I didn't.
It's kind of amazing the people you grew up with that you didn't know they did all the voices. To me, one of my heroes is Tom Kenny, and one of my dreams that I've always wanted to do is I've always wanted to be a voice actor. And Tom Kenny to me is like one of like the upper echelon of voice actors. He's one of my favorites of all time. So it's kind of cool seeing like everyone who you grew up with. It's like, oh man, he was the voice of this. Like that was the voice of my childhood. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, you could totally be a voice actor. I've loved listening to you do voices during like the short time that I was involved in D&D.
Oh, I appreciate it. One of the questions too is you brought up Totally Spies, and you talked about how you wanted to be a spy as a kid. And this question is how do you separate your life as a secret agent and a platypus?
Oh man, I've never watched that show, so I can't
talk to Doofenshmirtz.
Can't make a funny joke.
I forget the name of the guy who's the head bad guy. Is Doofenshmirtz. You've never watched Phineas and Ferb?
I've never watched it. I'm really bad at watching like animated shows. Yeah, I think the last animated show I watched was The Last Airbender.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That's a great show to watch.
Yeah, I definitely. Oh, well, it's one of those things. I have the creators just made a new Netflix show that I've had on my forever, and I just keep I just haven't watched it yet.
The Last Airbender is probably one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
I was talking with people the other day where it's like I watched the movie before I watched the show.
Oh, sorry.
The movie again. That was an interesting experience. I was like, surely the show can't be this bad. And then I was like,
total opposite. So
and then by the end, I was like, I kind of need to watch the movie again just to see. Now that I know everything, it was
they did that wrong. They did that wrong. They did that hell wrong. Oh my god. Yeah, that's one of the first movies I didn't see it in theaters. I almost walked out of it at home.
Oh yeah.
I was with a friend of mine rented it, and like I was at home, and I was like, I left the room. It was so bad. Instead of pausing the movie and stopping it, I left. I left my own house.
Everything's so white, and then it's so just cringy all around. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really bad at watching like animated. So never watched Phineas and Ferb. I haven't seen. Please don't hate me.
You have to find out who Doofenshmirtz is. This is the voice that I'm doing of him.
So I'm trying to think. I was like, it's like if I had seen the show, I tried to joke based on the show. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think of like what kind of answer I could bring for like how do I separate it. I mean, I basically just treat everything like a 9 to 5. Like once it's 5 o'clock, it's Overwatch time. You know, basically.
Speaking of Overwatch, there was one question that I missed related to Overwatch, and that is, what is one skin for any character that you'd really want to see?
Ooh. Trying to think of something Mass Effect related. I'm trying to think like what would be. I would like to see like a biotic Moira skin, I guess, like some because like biotics can sometimes look similar to what Moira or look like.
a Jack Moira.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, sweet. Just Moira with all those badass tattoos.
I want that. Oh my god, I want that. That would be so cool. I mean, they essentially do the same pose.
Yeah.
I want that.
And one question, the final. I think I've asked all 22 of the questions. You got 22 questions. That's like one. I don't know if Fee had more, but 22 is one of the higher ones we've ever had. And then I'll get into some more questions. And the last one is, if you could eat anything for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh man. See, that's the thing. I'm a very picky eater. I would say pizza, but I've actually gotten sick of pizza at one point because, like, for my last semester of grad school, like, I think I've mentioned before how stressed out I was. I would order, like, pizza at the end of every week and, like, eat it through the rest of the week and then order pizza again.
Oh, I've done that.
And so it's like my at first like instinct, I would have said pizza, but I've lived that life, and 6 months was enough.
Yeah. It's ironic because that's how much time's taken off your life from eating that much pizza.
Pretty much, probably. So I guess like pasta.
Sir, your blood level is marinara, and your cholesterol seems to be mozzarella.
Yeah, I guess it's similar on the same vein, but maybe like pasta. There's so much you could do with it, but I guess pizza the same way. Like maybe just. Oh, it's hard. I'm just now getting into the sandwiches, so I mean, there's
in general, like sandwiches as a thing.
Yeah, I was very, very picky for a while. I didn't eat Japanese food until 2 years ago. Chinese food a year ago. I had Cuban food for the first time.
Ooh,
so like I'm opening up myself to a new world essentially.
The irony of you being a person who digs in the dirt to discover life, and it's like it's on a plate. It's like, nah, I'm okay.
Time to eat my pizza. Give me my Cheetos. I need my Mountain Dew.
Allow me to do what was the thing you said? The test. When you make the squares on the ground, the shovel test.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you looking at like a plate of Indian food, and you're like, I gotta put these into quads and really do a spoon test to see if I like this or not. The results are positive. Give me some more of that naan.
I joke with people. It's like it has to go through like all of my other. Put it in my mouth. Look good, smell good.
Yeah,
if it has,
it has to have a good mouthfeel.
Yeah,
which is an actual term in food.
Mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel. Yeah, look it up.
Texture is like a huge thing.
That's why I don't eat coconut, because it's disgusting.
Is it? I don't know. I've never tried it.
So now we're time to get into some of the Joe special questions.
Okay.
And the number one is, do you believe in ghosts?
Actually, going back on a previous question, I can't believe I didn't up. I wanted to be someone that hunted ghosts for a living.
Oh, ghost bounty hunter.
So many books. Like, I didn't bring them here because there's too many, but whenever I move into my actual house, whenever I settle, I still have them all, and they're still, like, funny for me to, like, see out of the corner of my eye how many books about ghosts that I have. I loved all the shows about them. And it's one of those things, like, I consider myself a scientist now, and I want to say borderline atheist. I'm borderline atheist.
Oh, I'm a hopeful agnostic, so I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's like, scientifically, ghosts shouldn't exist, but I just love the idea that maybe they do. Like, just throwing that around, like, I mean, it's an interesting concept to, like, the energy of the afterlife. But yeah, like, I don't know. I think humans are such weird, fickle creatures that it could literally be our brains having fun with us. But, so, okay. I don't want to say, no, I don't believe in ghosts, but I don't want to say yes either. Okay. But I'll say, well, I guess if I say maybe, that's technically a yes. So whatever, I'll say yes.
How about what's your favorite dinosaur?
I've never studied them, so I don't know many names. I remember getting shit on one time because I said pterodactyl. Pterodactyl's not a dinosaur.
Did you say it was a bird?
Yeah, I don't know what they said, but they just were like, that's not technically a dinosaur. I was just like, well, your face is a dinosaur.
Wait, pterodactyls aren't dinosaurs?
Apparently not. I don't know. That's what I was told. That's what someone told me, and I was just fine. But I guess I'm trying to remember. I watched the most recent Jurassic World recently.
Oh, Fallen Kingdom or whatever.
Yeah, I cried. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So I'm trying to. Well, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen it, but it's also early in the movie. But it's basically also the same dinosaur, Land Before Time, the one with like the long necks. Is that literally what they were just called, long necks? I'm just gonna call them
Brontosaurus?
Sure.
I don't know if that's what they're really called now, but I think they changed their name. But I know what you're talking about. The big leaf eater boys, the big long neck guys.
Yeah, to any name you say, I'll say sure, because I have no idea. Technically, they're categorized as flying reptiles.
Yeah, well, get out of here. They're pea pterodactyls.
Googling something. Yes, they're so
Brachio.
cute.
No, no.
Brachiosaurus.
The big vegetarian boys. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're cute. But also, there's a scene in the I cried at it. But anyway, yeah, that one.
Where did you fall in line with the pants or socks first? That question. Were you there for that?
No, I wasn't there for that, but I do pants first.
Really?
Is there like a consensus for what order it's done in?
I put the question out to people is do you put when you get dressed, are you putting your socks on first before your pants, or are you putting your pants on before your socks?
Yeah, I mean, like so my daily routine is pretty much like I don't like wearing shoes or socks ever. So I guess this shouldn't come as a surprise now because like I keep socks and shoes as like literally before I leave the door, before I leave for work.
I do the opposite. I'm not putting my shoes on first. I put my socks on. I don't put my pants on until the very last minute.
What?
Yeah. I will sit around at home, sitting in my underpants. I'm currently in my underpants right now. This is not technically the Who Do You Know Joe Nights edition because I'm in my underpants. But I wake up and I get dressed. Pants go on last. Socks are already on. Put the pants on, throw my shoes on, and I'm ready to go. I go as long as I can without pants.
Oh man, no! I put top pants on, brush my teeth, do makeup, sit around and watch an episode of the Orville while I'm having my. And then I put my socks on and then my shoes on and then I get the heck out.
No, I rock socks. That's fine with me. I just don't want to wear pants.
I just want to be barefooted all the time, man. If I could do archaeology barefooted, I mean, I have done it and I will do it again.
That sounds like you just step on rocks. Oh, no thanks.
I grew up in the woods on a dirt road. I'm used to it.
Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense. I grew up like in the city, and if you step outside, it's like 1,000 degrees, and you'll burn the first few layers of your skin off.
Yep.
What's your go-to cereal?
Oh god. I kind of like rotate between Corn Pops, Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispie Treat, the cereal. If you've ever tried that, like that's my like when I'm hating the world, that's the cereal that I go to.
I didn't know they still made Corn Pops, if I'm being honest.
Well, these are like so they're literally like Rice Krispie Treats in a cereal form. So they're not just like single Krispies. They're like stuck together. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. But they're amazing and I love them.
I'm always going to be a Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy. Or I will be Frosted Flakes. I always do Frosted Flakes. I'll throw down hard on the Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes are usually like a good trusted one. Right now I'm actually finally eating the Lucio O's that Jenna gave me.
They're really good, right?
Yeah. At first I was just like, these are just going to taste like. But no, they actually have a.
They're really they have that vanilla sweet taste.
They have an interesting smell that's different from their taste that kind of throws me off every time. Like I said,
I understand.
They have to pass all the other senses, so like that threw me off. Like this doesn't taste like it smells.
I don't want to bring this up because it's gonna make Jenna feel bad. But did you ever finish cleaning up that glitter?
I think it's still in my backpack.
She felt so bad about that, and I felt so bad about it, but it was
Yeah, I reacted poorly. I probably should have handled that a little better. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. If she ever listens to this, she's like, "Oh my god, why?" She's gonna give me. That's what we do with this show. We break, we trust, we make bridges. And, I mean, I apologize to Fee for went off on comment.
And she cut out a picture of Orissa and put it over Lucio's face, so it's like Orissa OOs, and they're
cute. Yeah, exactly. Like... No, I am an instigator by accident. But yeah, everything seems to be fine now. That's good. Lucio's are banging.
Yeah.
But I got screwed out of my cereal. I put my code in and I only got like 2 boxes. I was supposed to get at least 4.
Oh, I feel bad. Like she was just like, "Oh yeah, you need to put in this code by a certain time," and I looked at like the things I had to do it, and I was like, "I'll just eat the cereal. I don't care about the boxes."
Oh no! Now I have extra gold for that on the skins that I'm going to eventually get anyway.
There's just so much stuff on that list, and I'm just like, I'm just lazy.
I have to take a picture. I have to email someone. I gotta get a proof of delivery.
Just gonna eat
I gotta
this.
give him some of my blood. Hell no, I'm not doing any of that crap. For my 8th Lucio skin that I don't ever gonna wear anyway? Hell no.
Dude, I recently got the like Lucio dance emote or the like DJ emote. I don't play Lucio enough though. Like I like off healer and off tank are like heroes that I play. Like I just don't ever feel comfortable besides on anyone. Maybe Zen. I like Zen and I'm like sort of okay at him, but I feel like so bad. I can't. There's too much pressure to be an off healer, man. Like
yeah, it sucks, dude.
So I just refuse.
Whenever we play, I'm just like I'll flex to whoever's left. But lately, so I'm still kind of going a little bored of Overwatch. I've just playing a lot of Torbjorn.
Mm-hmm.
And Torbjorn and Sim are my two go-tos now. I'm not a great diva anymore. I've dedicated my career to like trolling, I guess. getting just playing as Sim or Torb or I looked at all my Overwatch characters and I have like 12 minutes on Genji. It's awful. I can't do it. My brain can't comprehend how to do it.
I think whenever I'm like playing with a 5 or 6 stack of friends, I'll try to play Genji, but then I'm just like, I'm here. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to like. Apparently, there's like combos you can do. I don't know these things.
My brain can't comprehend that.
So I just like essentially now my go-to is like when I'm defending, I main heal, and when I'm attacking, I would like to do yes is usually my go-to. I rarely play main tank anymore, which I probably should stop. I should probably get back into it, or else I'll lose it. But
I got into Zarya just because I needed to learn how to aim a beam, and learning Zarya has really helped my my Symmetra because they're kind of like the same idea where they're just like a lock in on beam.
Yeah,
it's fun. But so we're at about an hour and 27 minutes, and I brought it up about 45 minutes ago about how you were worried about you weren't going to have anything to say. But I've learned a lot. This has been a very good conversation, and I'm pretty happy with everything we've talked about today.
Yeah, me too.
This is great. I'm glad I've gotten to know Theo Lowrider a little bit more.
No, it's Theo Ryder.
Theo Lowrider. Gringo extraordinaire. a level 5 gringo.
Yep, that's me.
Is there anything that you would like to plug or anything you want to say as we start to wrap up a little bit?
I would say thank you for the questions. They were really fun. I don't have anything to plug. I have a Twitch, but I rarely get on it. But it's Fanthropologist, and it's got that Brigitte icon that we were discussing in the beginning, where it's like the fan art. I just kept it because it kind of looks. I don't want to say it kind of looks like me because that would be very pretentious. But it has brown hair and brown eyes, so that's me. But yeah, so I guess I have a Twitch. Don't really do too much on it though because I work full-time job. And I'm off for like months at a time, as Joe now knows, because of D&D that I had to quit. But yeah, that's me.
Theo shit her pants and died on
I didn't shit my pants.
She shit her britches, and she did it. And she was like, "Oh my British accent," and she died.
I don't want to die.
Oh yeah, you were going to give us a Theo accent today too.
Oh yeah. Oops. I think I tried to do that when I said hello. I tried to do like a Mrs. Doubtfire thing, like hello.
Yeah. Is that what you're trying to do? Oh, okay. I completely no-sold that. This has been great. I've really had a great time, and we talked about this off camera. I'm trying to work on like an ending catchphrase to the show. So this show is now called the Who Do You Know Joe, and I'm proud to say that I now know Perry, Theo, Wanderlust. So I want to thank you for a great episode. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to do a little closing roundup session. And this has been fun. I will talk with you in the future.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Okay, so that was the pilot episode of the Who Do You Know Joe. I now know a little bit more about my friend Perry, so this has been a great time. And I'm currently looking at a picture of a cat that she sent me, so that's pretty awesome too. So thank you everyone who tuned in, who sent questions in. This has been fun to do. I haven't done one of these in forever, so this has been a nice change of pace. it's nice getting out there talking. The last time I did one of these was about how my brain was broken, and now I feel pretty dang good. So I am going to go hop on. See if I see some people are online. Maybe I'll go play some Overwatch. But this has been a wonderful episode of the Who Do You Know Joe show. And I wish you all a good night. Katy Perry says hello. And, have a good day. Bye, everyone.